Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. This Honorable Commissioners meeting of Roane County, Tennessee is now in session. Our Honorable Chairman Randy Ellis presiding. God bless these United States, the great state of Tennessee, and this honorable meeting. At this time, we'll have Commissioner Allen lead us in prayer. Afterwards, please remain standing for the pledge of the American flag.
Let us pray. Father in heaven, it's once again that we come so humbly before your presence, Father God, realizing that we are your creations, fallen because of sin, Father God. So, Father God, we don't come boastful or bragging, but we come realizing that we've made it this far because of your grace and mercy. And, Father God, we are pleading your grace and mercy right now to lead us throughout this meeting tonight as we conduct ourselves, Father God, not for our own interest, but to the commonwealth of this county, Father God. Father God, let us be mindful that we are to uplift one another, to edify one another, Father God. Father God, just be on our hearts and our minds, Father God, to treat each other with love and compassion, Father God. Father God, I just pray that every decision that we make will, Father God, just bring your name, honor, and glory. This is our prayer in the mighty name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. Cell phone, please turn it down. Thank you.
Eric?
Sir.
Brashear? Cunningham?
Here.
East? Here. Ellis? Dan?
Here.
Henderson?
Here.
Chester?
Here.
Hickman?
Here.
Cook? Here. Meadows?
Here.
Moore? Here. White?
Here.
Wilson?
Here.
13 present.
Here.
14 present.
Have a motion to remove the minutes for May 11th meeting.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Higgins, second by Mr. Meadows.
Nothing further.
Mr. Meadows.
Nothing.
One of the minutes for May 11th, 2020. Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign, the minutes are approved. Motion to accept committee reports and correspondence. Motion by Commissioner Meadows, second by Commissioner Berry. Commissioner Meadows. Commissioner Berry.
On report number 1, the letter from our county attorney regarding the subdivision and the plats and things. I guess the question, Mr. Levy, is do we have anything in place now to prevent this from happening again with the planning and the law?
Cut it down to 65, yes, ma'am.
No. Basically, the way the statute reads is if you don't have your roads completed, if you don't have your utilities completed, then you're allowed to pay the bond, which is what was happening in this situation. This bond expired.
The planning commission has to release the bond?
These were private roads, so the road superintendent would not sign acceptance, so yes, the planning commission would have to release the bond.
So that's still current then? Be up to the planning commission to release the bond?
It would be up to the planning commission to release the bond once the roads were completed. The problem in this situation was the bond had expired. So since the bond expired, the planning commission has the right to send approval of the plat and file a suit against the developer to obtain an injunction to prevent the developer from selling any more lots.
So I guess another question, another way, who keeps up with the expiration date on the bonds?
I can't answer that. I don't know.
So I just know this has happened more than once, and it looks like we have some kind of stuff put in place that folks buying those lots assume that they're getting roads and things to go with it.
This is the only instance of a bond expiring that I've been involved in my 6 years.
Can we as a county commission do anything in terms of setting up some kind of expiration on the bonds?
Well, the bonds have an expiration date. Planning Commission is the entity that has the authority to accept or deny a bond. So the County Commission would have no authority over that particular matter.
Okay. Mr. Williams, on the third report there, is it, during this period of time, is it costing us more for the judicial system to run or less than on a normal basis?
So the judicial system, it's not costing us any less. We're not generating revenue. So as far as the cost outlay, it's roughly the same.
So we put off jury trials, I assume?
Yeah, the Supreme Court stated
So there are savings in cost that will occur at some point when that was heard.
well, yeah, the cost of the jurors, yes. That
So nothing significant.
that's significant.
And I was just, on number 14, you might cover that in your report. I didn't know if we had any response from that letter asking for support. I think that was your letter to,
We haven't had any response from you.
good. And I guess on number 15, is the Environmental Review Board, are they aware of that letter?
Yeah, that one was for.
Okay. And then I guess under this, we had a letter, I guess number 20. And it seems like we talked about it a little bit last month, I think, but it seems like we've got some personality conflicts between the ERB and the Watts Bar Ecology Group. But in the meantime, our silver carp and all that stuff is, who's overseeing that, I guess?
Yes, silver card.
Well, anything related to that, to those two committees?
Charlotte's on the Environmental Review Board. Did you want to speak, Charlotte?
Yeah, we had a meeting, last week, and TVA and TWRA were both there, and they gave an extensive report on everything that they are doing and have been doing for years, and how they're working to alleviate that problem, and they are very well aware of it, and they are working on it. Gave a presentation, even offered to bring a presentation to us if we like.
So what are they saying is the solution?
Well, they're working on the locks, not the locks, but the barriers. They're putting in those barriers, and they are disputing that there's any silver carp in the last couple places that they said that they have been doing extensive testing.
Okay, so not as close as they.
Correct.
And I guess the other thing, Ms. Cunningham, is have they appointed the committee that we asked them to appoint regarding those kinds of issues?
I'm sorry?
We had sent a resolution, I think it was resolution 11/1907, setting up a 7-member committee from the Environmental Review Board and 2 commissioners.
Yeah.
That's the point.
That has been
Yes,
appointed?
Go ahead, Darrell.
Well, that's myself and Charlotte.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Any more questions on this evidence?
Committee reports and correspondence. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Sign committee reports and correspondence have been accepted. At this time, we'll move to hearing the delegations. This is the opportunity for the public to address the county commission. You have to be respectful to the commission and to everyone else.
Let's use this microphone. Be respectful to Commissioner and everyone else. Like I said, this is your opportunity to address the commission. We ask you to keep your comments less than 3 minutes. And this will be your only opportunity. Any other time you would need to be recognized by a commissioner. Anyone like to address the commission? Anyone?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm Pam May, I'm with the Roane Alliance, and I wanted to bring by our new outdoor guide, just got them from the printer Friday, and we're very excited. It really promotes our recreation, and I see that the master plan's on the agenda tonight, so I think all of this is very timely, and I just want you guys to have a copy. It talks about birding, bird watching has become very big and very big for Roane County, and it also talks about fishing and different things. So I just want to pass these out, and make sure you guys have a copy.
I'm very sure that I can.
Thank you, that's all I have.
Anyone else like to address the commission? Anyone else like to address the commission? Seeing none, we'll move along to numbers.
Julia Carney, Jennifer Fisher, Joshua Hughes, Tanya Jones, Chelsea L. Klein, Melissa K. Payne, Sheila Elaine Stanford, Christine Tucker, Lauren Turpin, Stacy M. Weems, and Tina Woodson.
So moved.
Motion to elect numbers by Commissioner Henderson, second by Commissioner Hickman. Commissioner Henderson. Henderson.
Appreciate your willingness to serve.
Commissioner Hickman.
I concur on those comments and the time such as these. Anybody that's willing to give up their time to help, they should be commended. So I thank them for their service.
Anyone else on the notary vote? Call roll.
Bell.
Aye.
Barry.
Yes.
Cunningham.
Yes.
East. Ellis. Gann.
Yes.
Henderson.
Yes.
Hester.
Yes.
Hickman.
Yes.
Cook. Meadows.
Yes.
Moore. White.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
14 yes.
Notaries have been elected. We'll move on to the county attorney's report for tonight, and he's out letting on suit apparel tonight, so we'll go ahead to Mr. Leonard.
Thank you. I have a very short report. We have court next week on, I think, about between 15 and 20 of our property maintenance cases. The ones that we had set in April, they will be reset sometime this fall. And that's all that's going on at this time that I have to report on. Are there any questions about anything?
Any questions for the county attorney? Seeing none, we'll move along to the county executive report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a couple things to report. Most everything we're doing now is budget related. It's not COVID-19. The budget committee has met and has 4 meetings in your packets, as you saw. And then we have 13 resolutions filed for tonight, which tells you what kind of work we're doing taking place in the budget. Last Friday was the most recent meeting, of course you don't have minutes to hit. We're trying to wrap up the general fund, and just to give you a real summary of it, and we'll be off on the numbers so you look at the minutes. When we adopted last year's budget, we adopted it with some bonuses in it because we were afraid we could not substantiate continue with raises in there. We anticipated about $850,000 true loss. That's opposed to a budget loss, but we always factor in how much will be budgeted and go unspent. We ended up performing, we anticipated about a $900,000 loss, which was not really too bad considering we lost the state inmates about mid-year because we had some receivables to cover that. We did a little bit better on property tax. We had one large taxpayer that made a payment that was substantial across all funds. And then the COVID impact on the financials is, it's always delayed. It's delayed from the court system. Our property tax came in well, so we basically performed like we anticipated 12 or 13 months ago. That being said, you start with that loss of about $900,000, and you add the loss of the state inmates, which would put you up to about 27 or so. And then you had the COVID situation that impacted some of our revenue also. The expenditures, by and large, over the last number of years have not changed, but you'll see a big change in revenue. Because of that, the Budget Committee recommendation has been to transfer all the property tax out of capital into the general fund, also to transfer that was 5 cents, 4 cents from debt service to the general fund. And once you do all of that, you're still out of balance some $800,000. And this is true loss, this is not budget loss. So from that standpoint, the Budget Committee made some steps Friday, and we'll hear from those departments at some point in time. It was elimination of UT Ag, elimination of the soil conservation, the federal part of soil conservation. It was cutting the nonprofits from about 130 to about 70,000, and to cut the tourism about 20, I think, and industrial development were about 30. From that standpoint, we are still out of balance, and we can adopt. We're in balance with our fund balances, and we know that we'll have 2 years of losses with this adoption. It is assuming everything else plays out okay. So from that standpoint, Budget Committee will have another one meeting. They will have a public hearing and another meeting. Generally, after the public hearing, we have a commission workshop. But I just wanted to let you know that we can cut budgets all we want. We'd ask all our departments to come back with 5 and 10% cut. When we did that, and their fallout changed, because if you're not cutting the program, you're not really making the cut. So we decided we could cut the 5 or 10%, but it didn't have any impact on the budget unless you're actually reducing services. So the action the Budget Committee has taken thus far is a reduction of service. So that's just kind of a summary of what's going on in the financial world. You have on your drive there the financial report for the by and large that ended in May. So if anybody has any questions on that, we'd be glad to address those. Other than that, Mr. Chairman, that concludes my report.
Any questions on the county executive? Mr. Barry.
Mr. Wood, what's our population in the jail? Are we staying?
I think it was 92 today.
So we're staying in the 90?
They are fixing to serve warrants, I think, starting next week or this week. So they haven't been serving warrants for several weeks now. They're going to start serving. That was the workout today.
Here you go.
Mr. Barry, Mr. Hester.
You know, I always ask questions on this budget and stuff, Mr. Woody. So will we program for a 900K shortfall, or is that just the way? I don't think we'd ever program a budget for a shortfall, but I understand where that.
Last year we did program. We anticipated, the way we adopt the budgets in the past. There's a number of ways we do it, but we set our revenue, and then we set our expenditures, and we have a calculation that's run for probably 20 years, how much money we go and spend. And we basically, so last year when we adopted the budget, we probably adopted the budget at $2.4 million out of balance, recognizing that we weren't going to spend $1.2 million of that or whatever. And from that standpoint, it all came down. We wanted to give our employees raises, but we knew that was really impractical. We knew we could take a one-time amount, about $250,000 from our savings account. So our savings, our rainy day fund, our fund balance, and I'm doing the recall, it was about $6 million. And we knew we were going to work that down to about $5 million, which we did. And now we're to the point that, we can still operate at a loss a couple of years, Depends on what you want to do. At some point in time, those saying you got to pay the piper. You either have to cut programs or you have to generate revenue. And all I've heard for the last year is no new taxes, no new taxes, no new taxes. And people, it appears they've got to the point they would rather see a reduction in service. You know, and we looked at the budget. So we got one budget, it's the sessions judges. So you've got the 2 judges that's paid, plus their benefits, plus their office supplies. You can take everything out of their salaries and all their benefits. You could cut everything so they don't buy anything. You still haven't got 5% of everything. Because, you know, governments are run by people. So the only basically departments that you have that operate and can operate maybe different, some of them can. Sheriff's Department, jail, the 2 largest budget. Park and Recreation is a fairly large budget. But with that, we have a self-sustaining Riley Creek campground. So if you cut it, you can't really cut Riley Creek because that money's all by itself anyway. And it's generating money that's supporting the program. And so other than that, you really have to say, all right, we're going to reduce positions. Once you start looking at reducing positions, by and large, most of the office holders are protected under statute. The property assessor, the law says you get so many employees per parcel. Or, yeah, I don't know, whatever it may come out to be. And so, I mean, some of y'all have been on the budget committee. We've fought this fight before. What basically has happened, it's happened over time. We did things, I handed out one of the minutes showing the sheriff's budget the last 5 or 6 years. And it really substantially didn't grow much. $150,000 a year. And it's a $6 million, those 2 budgets together, the jail and the sheriff's $6 million. So when you look at that over 6 years, you're looking at $1 million. And when your top line revenue, then you're out that $1 million just in that one department. So, I mean, we'll have a work session. We can go over all this again. We'll look at some more opportunities. One thing we did is we shifted some revenue around. We basically, the capital fund that we have been funding for the last 6 or 7 years, we basically, everything's on hold. No cars purchased, no patrol cars purchased, no investment in any infrastructure from our taxes. Okay? Then we knew that the government was giving us some money. We said, what take his money and do those capital projects? Because that's all it was used for. So it was a no impact for 1 year on capital. But the next year, we've got to go back and fund that capital if we're going to keep replacement on vehicles. 6 or 7 patrol cars a year, 1 ambulance a year. You're talking $400,000 or $500,000. So, sorry, it's all we've been doing for 3 or 4 months. We had the schools Friday, and Thursday we got word, and we're down to calls, the superdirector of schools, and so Thursday we got word that we were going to cut the schools. So they submitted the budget. We adopted it with the exception, with the provision that it will be cut dollar for dollar, what the state's going to come back and cut out of their budget.
Mr. Hester, you still got the floor. I've got 2 more questions. Have we grown in government or have we grown in services in the last fiscal year?
I don't. Well, we have grown in services by way of grants. You have your drug grants that we have, but as far as adding any personnel, the last 6 years, 8 years, I think the only personnel we added the equivalent of 1 position in veteran service officers. We have 2 part-time veteran service officers. We're one of only about 3 or 4 counties in the state that did not have that, so we added veteran service officers. And I can't think of anything else.
All right, so, and I'm just trying to wrap my mind around a 1.7 for shortfall. So you said UT Ag was going to be cut, soil conservation, industrial board, what was the other one?
For nonprofits, tourism. That it, but I had to look those minutes, so it's a long day.
All right, I have nothing further. Commissioner Wilson.
One thing that I wanted to reiterate on that, in case some of y'all forgot, maybe it's for some out there. We were over the hole of having to build a jail. Under the direction of the fire marshal, we got rid of state inmates. The state inmates is pretty much what funds that budget for the sheriff's department. So you're looking at $800,000 fallout that we're not going to be able to use for the sheriff's department. The plus side of that right now is we're in a pending fluctuation of inmates at 92 out of 178, which puts us 86 under. We have not been released from the fire marshal because he's not revisited, but obviously we're under that, and we're doing real good. The pending fluctuation is that we're going to be serving, or they're going to be serving warrants, and obviously that's going to grow. But I think a plus side right now is that we're not having to spend $23 to $25 million that obviously we can use in other places at this time. Is that something that's going to be coming up later in several years down the road or whatever? I think some of y'all will obviously agree that that's something, but if there is a silver lining to the whole thing, that we're saving right now 23 to 25 because of some judicial reform and just restructuring of how things are done. So I just wanted to reiterate that, on that part, the 800,000 there. So it's all good.
But Bishop,
I'm done.
we get Meadows, and I'll come back over there. Commissioner Meadows.
Well, one thing I wanted to say, the budget committee meets throughout the year. It's not just this time of year, but we really ramped it up in the last couple of months of the fiscal year. And this has been, struggle at best. And I felt like we needed to bring to commission a balanced budget with some cuts. I didn't think we needed to come out with anything that had proposed tax increase. Anything that is, that bothers anybody or they want back in there. And the one thing that really bothers me is the capital, and I stated that. But any of this can be added back in, but the commissioner or commissioners that, raise their hands and want to send this stuff back in, they have to realize it's going to come with a tax increase. So, you can sit there and say we're raising taxes. Well, that's all well and good. But if revenues are not growing, expenses are, you have to cut. And that's kind of where we are. There are going to be additional meetings, and I hope that everybody attends. But we meet throughout the year, and we meet, right before budget. Anybody is welcome to come and, watch and even make suggestions while we're in there. But I was really surprised that we could offer a budget, or a proposal rather, that had no increases and no loss of jobs on the county side. No, there's no raises, but there's no loss of jobs. We'll see where we get.
Commissioner Hester.
No, I knew about the state inmates, but we've not went a full 12 months on that to reflect the $840,000, what's the revenue loss. So how many months have we, so really, I think I did the math the other day, it's only about $320,000 shortfall that should be hitting this budget.
Well, that's what hit the year we're in. That is correct. About 400 hit the year we're in. Next year, what we had budgeted, of course, was 800. That won't be in the budget at all. But from a negative standpoint, it was that amount of money that we received this year that we can't count. We're starting at the loss.
Mr. Bell.
What did we do with the money that the commission approved, the $900,000 or the $1 million to move the codes building over by the bank, tear it down? I think we did maybe the first phase of the jail build or something, whatever it was called. I'm not sure the number.
Yeah, so that money was borrowed for a particular purpose and reason, and it sits there. You can't operate under law. It's got to be a capital investment. So that money is still retained.
Thanks, sir.
Mr.
Mr. Woody, on the school side, have they cut our BEP funding as well for the state?
That's what we're anticipating. That, in other words, they give you big, I guess, starting March, April, May, and May's during the final, which the schools receive their final. And now the legislators are in session. What's the old saying? Nobody's safe. The legislators are in session. So we're anticipating today cutting that number while they're in session.
Because the 32 million was about where we've been on BEP.
Yeah, we're looking to be cut at least roughly 500,000 BEP, which basically for us is, I mean, we're at operating level, basically.
That still keeps us at 32 million.
Yes.
Yeah, in other words, the raise that was in, the governor's first budget had about 4% raise for teachers. And then when the COVID came about, they were still in session, and they automatically cut the raises to 1%. 2%. And now they're fixing to come back, and it appears from the information we're having, we're cutting out. So the little growth we were going to have, the growth we were going to have in BEP was for raises, so now they're going to kind of flatten it out.
And will our BEP be affected if in fact we start school with a smaller number of students?
No. It's a lagging, ADM is lagging, so it would be next year.
Next year.
Yes.
Do you anticipate a reduction in the number of students for next year?
I do not.
Okay, good. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any more questions for the county executive? Seeing none, we'll move along to new business.
Resolution 62001, resolution authorizing the county attorney to file lawsuits against these properties regarding the properties as listed on attached page request form by violating Roane County Resolution number 2101, April 2013, regarding Roane County zoning regulations and or resolution number 11403 regarding overgrown vegetation and accumulated debris. Motion by Commissioner Meadows, second by Commissioner Hickman. Commissioner Meadows.
The pictures tell the story.
Commissioner Hickman.
I just yield to Mr. Coker if anybody has any questions.
Anybody else have any questions? Call the roll, please.
Bell?
No.
Barry?
Yes.
Cunningham?
Yes.
Peace?
Yes.
Ellis?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Hendrickson?
Yes.
Hester?
Yes.
Hickman?
Yes.
Cooks?
Yes.
Meadows?
Yes.
Moore?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Wilson?
Yes.
13 yes, 1 no.
Resolution 62001 is adopted. Resolution 62001.
I guess executive privilege here to see if we can move resolution 62020 up. We have some folks that travel from Knoxville and we got them last. 62020.
Without objection, I will move 62020, the resolution to approve Roane County Comprehensive Multi-Use Trail Master Plan and Health Design Assessment. That's 62020. So your last page. Without objection, well, I got a motion to approve by Commissioner Berry, second by Commissioner Gann. Commissioner Berry.
Yes, this, as you know, some time ago, we started a couple of plans for the Parks and Recreation, and we got a grant from the Health Department to do a trails assessment, and Jamie has worked on some grants for us, and at this time I'd like to yield to Jamie to sort of just give us an introduction of our folks there. Jamie, if you would, please.
Sure. This was a Healthy Active Built Environment grant, $20,000 that paid for this comprehensive multi-use master trail plan that IBI so graciously put so much work into. The reason it's so important is because these master plans, they help us to score higher in the future to use this grant money to then fund projects that will help our county in the future. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this over to IBI, Mr. Patrick Osborne.
Thank you all for having us this evening. As Jamie mentioned, my name is Patrick Osborne. I'm the project manager of IBI Placemaking. We're a planning landscape architecture firm in Knoxville. This is Bill Bracey, the principal in charge at our Knoxville office. And IBI, along with Health Design Partners, performed a multi-use trail master plan and health design assessment for Roane County. The study investigates the potential for new greenway, trail, and bike segments that provide access to active recreation opportunities, healthy food sources, and wildlife corridors throughout the county. The goals and objectives of the master plan were to connect existing proposed greenways, trails, and bike lanes within the county and extend to adjacent county lines, provide an alternate source of transportation focused on primarily pedestrian and bicycle circulation, connect to neighborhoods, schools, parks, local business districts, wildlife management areas, and water bodies within the county, and also to provide access to healthy foods and promote active recreation, improving the health of Roane County citizens. We kicked off this project in March of 2019, and it ran alongside the 10-year Parks and Rec Master Plan, in which our office also conducted for Roane County. The Trail Master Plan, as JD mentioned, as well as the health design assessment, were funded through the Tennessee Department of Health under the Healthy and Active Built Environments Grant, and they were commissioned as an essential segment in conjunction with that 10-year Parks Plan to cultivate data-driven outdoor sports, economic driver, and non-urban communities with an abundance of raw natural assets. The importance of this multi-use trail master plan is for future grant opportunities, so it will assist with grant eligibility and the grading process to obtain competitive grant awards from multiple funding sources. And that funding can assist in the development of Roane County's future vision for parks and recreation as well as transportation. The tasks included in the study, briefly, we did a review of past planning studies, reports, and existing trails and greenways. We went out and we walked or drove over 100 miles of potential trail networks within the county. We reviewed GIS data as well as Google Earth analysis. And the documentation of existing greenway, trail, and bike lane networks as they relate to countywide points of interest are included in the plan. And then the development of the overall trail framework plan identifies proposed trail, greenway, and bike lane networks, as well as primary, tertiary, and secondary trailheads and blueway access points that also relate to the work that Roane County was doing with the Riverland 652 project as a pilot community. We then went and broke down the greenway, trail, and bike lane networks into specific segments, assigned relative difficulty, distance, as well as cost to each trail type. So you can, as you prioritize these projects in the future, you have that information to kind of go for in terms of securing future grants. We also have section typicals of the various greenway, trail, and bike lane conditions to identify potential constructability issues, safety, and those sorts of things. And then we also identify enlargements of specific study areas that could be potential priorities in terms of where the first trails could be built, namely one of them in Caney Creek Recreation Area. And then finally, we provided before and after experiential renderings as well as an estimate of relative cost for the Greenway Trail and bike lane networks. Since it was part of the health grant, we included the health design assessment, which analyzed countywide health data and influencing factors, which generated data-driven design recommendations. With that, we also provided in this booklet healthy food access plans, which show under your existing greenways and trails the access or lack thereof to healthy food access. And with this proposed trail plan, how all of those potential places are connected with the plan. So with that, I'll yield to your questions that you may have.
One of the things, and some of you probably attended some public showcasings that they had. They had several all over the county. Hopefully you were able to attend one of those. And what we're trying to do, I guess, over the long haul is connect dots with walking trails, bike trails, the 652 mile marker to increase the tourism aspects of our county and highlight what we've all known all these years is that we're sitting on a beautiful place. We just need to try to get folks to those places. This will tie into the Caney Creek. We hopefully are going to try to work on a grant for the bridge over there that came in way over the estimated cost, but hopefully we can get a grant, we can overcome that. That's all part of this. So this is a connecting of the dots over a period of 15 or 20 years, but this is a great start for us, and the Parks and Recreation Committee has approved this. Thank you.
Mr. Mann on the second.
I think this is some really something very exciting for Roane County that in the future, I think it's going to really help us with our growth. The average age in Roane County right now is 46, I believe that's what it is. I'm a little bit past that, but I think that it's really good to have activity, and it's going to provide, well, I mean, I'm a little bit, I mean, just a little bit. But it's really important that we have this activity in Roane County, its growth. If you look at some of the other counties, and I travel to several other counties, they really don't have an opportunity like this for people. It's not just for walking, it's not just for running, it's for biking, it's for horses, it's for camping, it's for so many different activities that families and individuals can be involved in, and I think it's going to help Roane County grow. A healthy county grows, an unhealthy county doesn't. And I think it's important for us to have that for people. I've talked to several folks, and they said, how can I get involved? What can we do? This is what we enjoy doing as an activity. We would like to, we have this club, or we have this, and we would like to be, and we would do it for nothing. We'd do it for free. Our club would help design or do some of the work. So it's not just here in Roane County, it's for the state of Tennessee. And I think it's something that we really need to invest in for folks that's under 46 years old, maybe 45. That's it. I'm done.
Mr. Hester.
You can't get off the floor.
Sir, do you have a Ezra data file or a GIS data file you can share with our GIS planner?
Yes, we can.
What is that so hard?
Well, that plays into our long-term planning, that we can map it on our database and bring it up and view the proposed trail plans and stuff. And you also have the waterway in an Ezra file as well?
We have all the waterways in GIS. As far as the access points, all that was done in our products, but that can be provided to the GIS department as well. We can translate it to their plans.
Nothing but.
Mr. Hickman.
Yes, I enjoyed a lot of successes and failures in my former occupation as a Parks and Rec director. One of my biggest failures was that I couldn't convince our leadership here in the city to take part in this master trail plan. I think it's a wonderful plan. I think I'd just like to commend you for your work. Talk about the extensive travel that you did around our county. And if you look, it's not just our county parks that are going to benefit. Look at the city of Rockwood and the city of Kingston. Their parks are all tied into this. And we all know that each individual city, the stronger they are, the stronger we are in the county. I'd like to thank Jamie. I'd like to thank Mike and his crew down there. When you look at Roane County, it's going to be industry or tourism that kind of brings us out of this. And I just know in my heart that once you take a stroll on that Saturday evening on Watts Bar, it's going to be tourism that pulls us out. And like you stated before, this master trail plan is going to just give us so many points and that leg up on competition for future grants. So Jamie's going to be rolling in these bags of money, and Chris Mason's going to be so excited about it. And I'm just looking forward to not only what we as a body can vote on tonight, but our sons and our daughters and our future generations here in Roane County. So thanks for your
Any more questions or comments on Resolution 6, 2020?
Bell?
Yes.
Barrett?
Yes.
Cunningham?
Yes.
East? L?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
Henderson?
Yes.
Hester?
Yes.
Hickman?
Yes.
Hooks?
Yes.
Meadows.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
14 yes.
Resolution 6, 2020 adopted. Right quick, we had an extra paper, it was on everybody's desk, it was looking for a motion to waive the 12-day rule for Resolution 6, 2022, a resolution for Roane County, Tennessee, amendment to the international building. So moved. Motion by Commissioner Hooks, second by Commissioner Meadows. Commissioner Hooks.
I have nothing to add.
Commissioner Meadows.
Defer to Mr. Cole if he'd like to say something about that.
Yeah, we're just waiting the 12-day rule.
Oh, but never mind.
Okay. More questions or comments on waiting the 12-day rule? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. This will be added to the agenda 6/20/22. Back now to Resolution 6/2002, a resolution authorizing the county attorney to file suit regarding property listed on attached case formed by violating County Resolution 12/1805 and/or Resolution 12/1806 regarding 2018 International Building Codes and 2018 International Residential Codes.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Meadows, second by Commissioner Wilson. Commissioner Meadows. Commissioner Wilson.
I'll defer to Glenn Gopher if anyone has any questions.
Questions for
Speak for
Mr.
yourself.
Any questions for Mr. Coker on 6/2002? Call the roll.
Bell.
No.
Barry.
Yes.
Brashear. Sorry. Cunningham.
Yes.
Keys. Ellis.
Yes.
Gann.
Yes.
Henderson.
Yes.
Hester.
Yes.
Hickman.
Yes.
Hooks.
Yes.
Meadows.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
13 yes, 1 no.
Resolution 6/2002 is adopted. Resolution 6/2003, a resolution authorizing county executive to execute a 5-year agreement attached to the entitled service agreement with SS Services Solutions for custodial services for Roane County School System. Motion by Commissioner Berry, second by Commissioner White. Commissioner Berry.
Yes, Mr. Woody, this comes to us, school's money, but you and the purchasing agent, I think, are the only two that can enter into contract.
That's correct.
That's why it's coming.
This kind of contract, yes.
That's the school's money, so they've set, I guess, they took bids and did whatever they wanted to do, set out their own criteria for what you're getting in that contract, and I would yield to you.
Yes, we did. We worked with the county in doing that and reevaluating this company, and this is what we want to do with the company, yes.
Thank you.
Commissioner Wilson.
I have nothing to add.
We'll make a question of White. Any other questions or comments for 6/2003?
These,
Call the roll.
Bell.
Aye.
Barry.
Yes.
Cunningham.
Yes.
East.
Yes.
Ellis.
Yes.
Gann.
Yes.
Henderson.
Yes.
Hester.
Yes.
Hickman.
Yes.
Hooks.
Yes.
Meadows.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
14 yes.
Resolution 6/2003 is adopted. Resolution 6/2004, resolution setting forth the decision of opening and maintaining Bowman Bend Road. Motion by Commissioner East, second by Commissioner White. Commissioner East.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Brown,
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. As y'all know, about 16 months ago, we had the February disaster, and this was one of the major projects that was included. This is one of the last that we had to finish in the road department. We've submitted everything to FEMA. We have a contract in place awaiting to be signed by the county mayor for $1.6 million to complete this. We found out last month that FEMA will not fund the 75% that they told us at 4 previous meetings that they were going to fund. As of June the 1st, our representative tells us that Julie, who is the woman in Washington, has approved Bowman Bend for repair of the surface and reimbursement for the debris removal. It was the issue with the embankments that she would not approve to pay for. Our engineering firm designed the road to move the road over. FEMA would not pay anything on the downside or the riverside slope because it belonged to another federal agency, being TVA. They said that we didn't own the property on the other side, that if we had owned the property on the other side, that they would pay us. But, you know, we've got about 5 foot, is all we have on Bowman Bend Road on that side. There's 2 property owners up there that have a total of about 50 acres total that we were wanting to take about 15 foot over. One property owner is allowing us to do that. The other property owner at the major part of the work has declined letting us do anything. And we had our engineering firm to talk to him, get us out of the negotiations before we took it to, in case we had to take it by eminent domain. He wants $250,000 for the property. So if you take 1.6 million and add the $250,000 to it, we're over $200 million, or we're over $2 million. When you all voted to expend this money out of the $10 million that we're drawing down on, we told you that it would be reimbursable up to 70% from FEMA and 12.5% for a total of around 74%, and that we would take up the rest of it. So that doesn't seem to be the case anymore on this particular road. It's in Mr. Wilson's district, Mr. Vail, and Mr. Shear's district. We made a presentation to the road committee week before last, and there's 3 options that we have to repair or do something with this road. The first option was to completely shut the road down, make it impassable. Do nothing with it, barricade it, block it off. The next one was for y'all to approve spending $2 million on it. Wherever the money comes from would be the wand of Mr. Woody, I would assume, that it probably comes from a tax increase. The third option would be to leave the road as it is, dedicate the message boards and the signalization there. Let's take the $170,000 that FEMA's going to give us. We go and clip the shoulders. We take all the dirt that we've got piled on the side of the road. We move that off. We dig out the bad place, leave the barriers up there. Tell the school people that they can no longer travel that road. I think they make 1 trip a day. Mr. McKinney, 2 trips, 1 in, 1 out. Was not a lot of kids, but it'd be inconvenience for those people, that we would drop the speed limit to 20 miles an hour, and that we would drop the weight limit to 15 tons. The road committee voted unanimous to take that offer and leave the road the way it is. If you all pass that, do that, we're starting on it tomorrow to remove some of the barricades and to go back in and clean the ditch line out. We're assuming, Mr. Lefew, that if that slides again, that becomes a responsibility of the property owner. If his bank slides in our road again, so, because it's going to be, you know, it's close. It's still there. We haven't taken any of the tree, still got some of the trees to come off and that kind of stuff, but we will not be working on his property. Take care of his trees.
That's all I have. Commissioner Watts.
I have nothing, he's answered all the questions.
Commissioner Meadow.
A couple of questions, Mr. Brown, then maybe Mr. Lefty. So eminent domain, it's not being taken off the table?
No, sir.
How much in acreage terms is needed from that one owner who won't sell?
He just purchased this about 20 months ago, right before this happened. He gave less for it than what the county appraised it for. He's telling me the county told him, said, well, that's just too bad. This is what we think it's worth. You just got a good deal. Okay? So he went up and he's going to build a lot. I don't want to talk about the man's property, but it's a hole. It's rock face bluff. He had the state to come in, and his dream was to build a house on one piece of property. On that piece of property was the only place that would perk, according to the state, that he's got staked out where his field line was at. We would have taken his field line out, which would have made his house, he wouldn't be able to build his house on that one piece of property out of the whole 20-something or 40-something acres. There may be an acre sitting on the top.
And the first design we had, we were putting it at a 2-to-1 slope, and we were cutting back. That would take us going back about 250 foot from the bank. So we tried to work with him. We had him to redesign it to where we were going to put a ready wall up. Something like what Barger builds and what you got at the Midway School that you built a retaining wall. We were going to do that and pin it back. And then that's when he come back and said, no, I don't want that either. You know, I've got, our engineers tell us that he got an appraisal. And of course, if it goes to eminent domain, then we have to get an appraisal. We have to pay for it. We have to put the money that the appraiser says it's worth in an account with the bank. And then we go to court and decide, and then the money's paid out. So if he's got an appraisal that's $250,000, we're looking at $250,000. Based on him saying that it makes his whole piece of property useless for a suitable site to build a home.
But if you buy a piece of property like that, there's no guarantee that it's buildable unless you do some due diligence in the front end. So if that's the case, if it's just that one area, would that potentially make us have to pay him full price, I guess is a good way to put it.
In an eminent domain suit, there's two figures that we're responsible for paying. First figure is the value of whatever we're taking to do the road improvement. The second figure is how taking this section of land for the road improvement devalues the remainder of his property. Now, I don't have any personal knowledge of this property. I haven't been out to see it. But if we're taking the only place where he could run a field line, then that's going to significantly increase what we would have to pay. That's the only way I know to answer this question.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments on 62004, Mr. Barrett?
Mr. Bell, are you talking about using the traffic control light? Did we buy those that we had up in Oliver Springs?
Yes, sir.
So we're getting our money. I mean, we use those things extensively, yeah.
Yes, sir. They were well worth their money. We rented them. They were $3,500 a month, and we paid for. We have 2 sets of them.
This is not the third time we've used them now, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr.
And I take it sewer's not available in that area. There's no sewer up there, no, sir. There's not any gas, not any sewer.
Any more questions or comments? Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Bell?
Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Barrett?
Yes.
Cunningham?
Yes.
East?
Yes.
Ellis?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
Hendrickson?
Yes.
Esther?
Yes.
Hickman?
Yes.
Seuss?
Yes.
Meadows?
Yes.
Moore?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Wilson?
Yes.
14 yes.
Resolution 62004 is adopted. Resolution 62005, a resolution supporting the city of Kingston and developers of the former Southwest Point Golf Course property. Motion by Commissioner Wilson. Second by Commissioner Moore. Commissioner Wilson.
No, I fully support the city of Kingston on this endeavor with this developer for this property. I think it'd be good for Roane County.
Commissioner Moore.
I think it'd be a good development. Support it, we all we can for our part. Support it.
Mr. Barrett.
This is not in the city of Kingston, right? This is in their growth plan. So, am I correct in that sales tax and stuff generated from here comes to the county? From restaurants and things?
Yes, that's correct. Up until it becomes.
Until they annex it. So, and if they were to do some type of timeshares or something in there, that would also bring us hotel motel tax, right?
Correct.
It's a pretty good future for us if they can continue to do this. And I assume TVA is probably the biggest injector so far on the marina.
The way they presented us, Mr. Berry, is that they've got Plan A, Plan B, Plan C, and C is with the marina. I think they've asked for probably too many slips at 200. You know, if they get 100, they're probably good. But the rest of that, TVA doesn't have any say-so over the way they explain it to us. It's all inside. Yes, they have asked to be annexed, and we passed it on first reading because of the problem. We've not been able to have our second reading. We've got that scheduled for next month.
So I guess my next question would be on the new annexation laws. Does that make it more difficult for Kingston to annex that property? If folks on that side don't want it annexed, or you can't spot annex, right?
I can't answer that tonight because it's been probably 6 months since I've read the annexation statute.
Mr. Berry, the property owners requested, that's the only way that they can annex down under the new law. They came before us, they requested to be annexed, and it's contiguous, and it will join the existing city limits of the city of Kingston.
So you get that, what, 100% of them?
There's only one. It's an LLC.
Okay, so you're not staking your ground, you're just...
No, nothing but the golf course property. Like the LLC.
Any more questions or comments? Resolution 62005. Comments or questions? Call it.
Commissioner Bell?
Yes.
Barry?
Yes.
Cunningham?
Yes.
East?
Yes.
Ellis?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
Henderson?
Yes.
Hester?
Yes.
Hickman?
Yes.
Brooks?
Yes. Yes.
Ward?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Wilson?
Yes.
14 yes.
Resolution 62005 is adopted. Resolution 62006, a resolution requesting the state Senate, the State House of Representatives to postpone the 2021 raises for elected officials. Motion by Commissioner Wilson, second by Commissioner Hooks. Commissioner Wilson.
Obviously what this is for all of us here, but it's for the timing of everything that's going on. It's the right move, but I'll defer to the county executive if he wants to add anything to that. Kind of self-explanatory.
Pretty self-explanatory.
Yes.
Commissioner Hooks. Any more, Commissioner Bell?
Is this the filing date? I heard noise rattling around. Are we filing this in a timely manner? Was we supposed to file it months ago? I'm asking the county attorney. I don't have a clue. I just, a couple people calling and saying, hey, I don't think you can do it, a statute, blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm no lawyer, so I'll ask the county attorney. That's what I told them. So here it is.
All it is a non-binding resolution. You're just expressing your preference to the General Assembly, but the General Assembly would actually have to adopt something, not increasing the salaries for 2021, and I'm sure the Attorney General's office will look into it if it comes to that. But for your purposes, this is just an expression of county commission's desires.
And who does this affect?
It affects the elected officials of the county.
Commissioner Meadow.
Just wanted to mention that this did come to the budget committee. We did discuss it there. Also, the county commissioners are tied to elected officials by our resolution, so it affects basically all elected officials and about 4 or 5 appointed by statute officials. Part of it is by law, part of it is by policy.
Has been the legislative committee. And the other thing I'll do is, since we sent it into Nashville, is under the 1, 2, 3, 4, the 5th whereas, and I think should say it, and is only right, it is only right. So, change and to it.
We'll do any minor modifications that we can. I haven't seen it yet.
And any more questions or comments? Clerk, call it.
Commissioner Bell?
Yes.
Barry?
Yes.
Cunningham?
Yes.
Keys?
Yes.
Ellis?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
Hendrick?
Yes.
Hester?
Yes.
Hickman?
Yes.
Cook?
Yes.
Meadows?
Yes.
Moore? White?
Yes.
Wilson?
Yes.
14 yes.
Resolution 6-2006 is adopted. Resolution 6-2007, a resolution to amend the general fund 101 additional COVID-19 expenditures that is related to salaries and benefits of employees, related expenditures, supplies, equipment. Motion by Mr. Hook. Second by Mr. White. Commissioner Hook.
I refer to the county as actually.
So the next group of resolutions have all gone to the budget committee, I think. One of them, I think, this 07 is just here dealing with costs that we're trying to capture, so in the event we get reimbursed.
Mr. White.
Have nothing to add.
Any more questions or comments on 6-2007?
So, are these real numbers?
Some of them are real numbers, some of them are budget numbers. What we'll have to do, in other words, we have somebody working at the courthouse now that is on light duty from Tim's budget, and we'd like to capture that cost in our budget, Tim's budget.
But like at the courts, for $15,000.
Now, the court's $15,000, that is for the video arraignment for the chancellor.
Okay, so
So we have we had video arrangement for the other judges. It was really not being used till it was forced to be used, like, no disrespect, if that's hard to change. Well, now it's such a good idea, we've got another judge that we hadn't even planned, thinking, hey, we want to do this too, so it's going to be an all four courts.
So we can, in essence, hopefully get that paid for.
Yeah, and of course, you all know that the Supreme Court kind of locked the court system up, but to open it back up, we had to have a plan to do all that. So these plans were written in on how we're going to do it. And then once those plans were approved, we're back in the court system.
Any more questions or comments? Madam Clerk, call.
Bell?
Yes.
Barry?
Yes.
Cunningham?
Yes.
Keys? Ellis?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
Hendrick?
Yes.
Hester?
Yes.
Hickman?
Yes.
Cook?
Yes.
Meadows?
Yes.
Moore?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Wilson?
Yes.
14 yes.
Resolution 6-2007 is adopted. Resolution 6-2008, a resolution amending General Fund 101 for ordinances existing to provide unexpected changes to departments that needs to have changed since the first of the fiscal year. Motion by Commissioner Meadows, second by Commissioner Hood. Commissioner Meadows.
I'd like to, what this did come to the budget committee, that I do need to amend, rise for amendment on this, to add some items that were inadvertently, I guess, left out or approved after this was.
No.
Connie?
What had happened? What had happened was the sale of property that is for the school foundation that came in after the resolution was submitted. So I have to pay that money out, $20,150, and then the other cost are from the coroner's office. We're still seeing some increase in the expenditure, so I'll be submitting another request to improve the justice budget.
Would you like to make a motion to amend with that spreadsheet?
Yes.
You take that as a second?
Yes.
We will vote friendly as an amendment. Okay. We'll get your back on the resolution.
Well, basically, again, this is a cleanup resolution that has come to the budget committee, and just very quickly about that corner increase and what that is.
The $3,100 increase was the DNA testing to expedite it. Normally it takes a year to get DNA testing back, and this is related to the 10-mile case. So they request that we expedite it at the $3,100 cost.
and we agree with that as budget committee. You know, we're trying to keep costs down, but this is in the interest of justice, so we were okay with that.
Commissioner Hooks. Any questions from anyone on Resolution 6-2008? Friendly amendment. Call roll.
Bell?
Yes.
Barry?
Yes.
Cunningham?
Yes.
East? Ellis? Gann?
Yes.
Henderson?
Yes.
Hester?
Yes.
Hickman?
Yes.
Hooks?
Yes.
Meadows?
Yes.
Moore? White?
Yes.
Yes.
14 yes.
Resolution 6-2008 adopted. Resolution 6-2009, a resolution to amend ambulance fund 118 due to estimates that have changed since the first of the fiscal year. Motion by Commissioner Hooks, second by Commissioner Meadows. Commissioner Hooks.
This has been before the budget committee, and it's a cleanup resolution, and Kim wants to speak to it. I'll yield the floor to him, but it's just a cleanup resolution that we do at the end of the fiscal year.
Commissioner Meadows.
Nothing to add.
Questions or comments on Resolution 6-2009? Call roll.
Bell?
Aye.
Barry?
Yes.
Cunningham?
Yes.
East?
Yes.
Ellis?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
Henderson?
Yes.
Hester?
Yes.
Hickman?
Yes.
Hooks?
Yes.
Meadows?
Yes.
Moore?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Wilson?
Yes.
14 yes.
Resolution 6-2009 adopted. Resolution 6-2010, a resolution to amend the Special Revenue Fund 121 Fire and Animal Control where overages exist either by unexpected changes to the departments or needs have changed since the first of the fiscal year. Motion by Commissioner Meadows, second by Commissioner Hooks. Commissioner Meadows.
Same thing, clean up, end of the year, and it has been through budget season.
Commissioner Hooks.
Nothing further.
Any questions or comments from commissioners on 6-2010? Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Bell?
Aye.
Barry?
Yes.
Cunningham?
Yes.
East? Ellis?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
Henderson?
Yes.
Hester?
Yes.
Hickman?
Yes.
Hooks?
Yes.
Meadows?
Yes.
Moore?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Wilson?
Yes.
14 yes.
Resolution 6-2010 is adopted. Resolution 6-2011, a resolution to amend the Drug Fund 122 where overages exist due to unexpected changes to the departments or needs have changed since the first of the fiscal year. Motion by Commissioner Wilson, second by Commissioner Hooks. Commissioner Wilson.
Same thing, same song and dance, clean up, been through the budget committee already.
Commissioner Hooks. Any questions or comments on Resolution 6-2011 from the Commission? Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Aye.
Bell?
Aye.
Barry? Cunningham?
Yes.
East?
Yes.
Ellis?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
Henderson?
Yes.
Hester?
Yes.
Hickman?
Yes.
Hooks?
Yes.
Meadows?
Yes.
Moore? White?
Yes.
Wilson?
Yes.
14 yes.
Resolution 6-2011 is adopted. Resolution 6-2012, resolution to amend recycling landfill fund 128 where revenues and estimates have changed since the first of the fiscal year. Motion by Commissioner Hooks. Second by Commissioner White. Commissioner Hooks.
Same thing, budget cleanup, has been before the budget committee recommends adopted.
Commissioner White.
Have nothing there.
Any other good prayer?
Is a reduction in revenue on recycling, are prices just down, Woody, for recycled materials?
That's basically it, because we're getting the prices at this moment. You also have a reduction here because of grant didn't fully get, we executed it, but we didn't have a contract or anything else, so we'll have a grant next year. But the recycled pricing is down. Plastic particularly.
Some of your resources are closed too.
Yes, yeah. A lot of reasons that are agreed.
Any more questions or comments on 6-2012? Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Bell?
Yes.
Barry?
Yes.
Cunningham?
Yes.
East?
Yes.
Ellis? Gann?
Yes.
Henderson?
Yes.
Hester?
Yes.
Hickman?
Yes.
Hooks?
Yes.
Meadows?
Yes.
Moore?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Wilson?
Yes.
14 yes.
Resolution 6-2012 adopted. Resolution 6-2013, a resolution to amend the general debt service fund 151 to reflect estimates of the change since the first of the fiscal year. Motion by Commissioner Hooks, second by Commissioner Meadows. Commissioner Hooks.
This resolution's been before the budget committee recommends adoption. Another cleanup budget for the end of the fiscal year.
Mr. Meadows.
I agree with Mr. Hooks and Mr. Woody, like to hit any of this, it's just clean up.
Any more questions or comments from commissioners on 6/2013? Mr. Barrett.
On the pilot for DOE, is that something that we agree with, or is that contractual?
It's a somewhat negotiated price. And we do that over 5 years with negotiation with them, so that'll be it.
More questions or comments? Clerk call.
Bell?
Aye.
Barry?
Yes.
Cunningham?
Yes.
Keith?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
Henderson?
Yes.
Esther?
Yes.
Hickman?
Yes.
Hooks?
Yes.
Meadows?
Yes.
Moore?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Wilson?
Yes.
14 yes.
Resolution 6/2013 adopted. Resolution 6/2014, a resolution to amend the rural debt service fund 152 to reflect estimates of changes to the fiscal year. Motion by Commissioner Hooks, second by Commissioner White. Commissioner Hooks.
14 has been before the budget committee recommends adoption. It's a cleanup budget for the end of the fiscal year.
Commissioner White.
Have nothing to add.
More questions or comments on 6/2014? Now clerk call roll.
Bell?
Aye.
Barry?
Yes.
Cunningham?
Yes.
Keith? Ellis?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
Henderson?
Yes.
Esther?
Yes.
Hickman?
Yes.
Hooks?
Yes.
Meadows?
Yes.
Moore? White?
Yes.
Wilson?
Yes.
14 yes.
Resolution 6/2014 is adopted. Resolution 6/2015, a resolution to amend the judicial drug task force fund 357 where others exist either by unexpected changes to departments or needs of changes to the first fiscal year. Motion by Commissioner Hooks, second by Commissioner Cunningham. Commissioner Hooks.
Resolution 15 has been before the budget committee recommends adoption. Cleanup for the fiscal year.
Commissioner Cunningham.
Nothing further.
Any more questions or comments on 6/2015? Clerk call.
Bell?
Aye.
Barry?
Yes.
Cunningham?
Yes.
Keith? Ellis? Gann?
Yes.
Henderson?
Yes.
Esther?
Yes.
Hickman?
Yes.
Hooks?
Yes.
Meadows?
Yes.
Moore?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Wilson?
Yes.
14 yes.
Resolution 6/2015 is adopted. Resolution 6/2016, a resolution to amend the District Attorney General Fund 364 where overages existed by unexpected changes to departments or needs and changes in the first fiscal year. Motion by Commissioner Barry, second by Commissioner Wilson. Commissioner Barry.
I think it just some odds and ends that the state pays most of his expenses, so this is just some odds and ends.
Commissioner Wilson.
Nothing to add. Been through the budget committee.
Any more questions on 6/2016? Clerk call roll.
Bell?
Aye.
Barry?
Yes.
Cunningham?
Yes.
Keith? Ellis?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
Henderson?
Yes.
Esther?
Yes.
Hickman?
Yes.
Hooks?
Yes.
Meadows?
Yes.
Moore? White?
Yes.
Wilson?
Yes.
14 yes.
Resolution 6/2016 is adopted. Resolution 6/2017, a resolution amending the general purpose school fund 141 reflecting changes in revenue/expenditures estimates for 2019-2020 fiscal year. Motion by Commissioner Hooks, second by Commissioner Meadows. Commissioner Hooks.
This is another cleanup resolution of, he has his comment. No comment.
Mr. Meadows.
I have really nothing to add, much Mr. Woody or Dr. Collins.
Any more questions or comments on resolution 6/2017?
Bell?
Aye.
Barry?
Yes.
Cunningham?
Yes.
Keith?
Yes.
Ellis?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
Henderson?
Yes.
Esther?
Yes.
Hickman?
Yes.
Hooks?
Yes.
Meadows?
Yes.
Moore? Commissioner Moore?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Wilson?
Yes.
14 yes.
Resolution 6/2017 adopted. Resolution 6/2018, a resolution amending the Central Cafeteria Fund 143 reflecting changes in revenue expenditure estimates for the 2019-2020 fiscal year. Motion by Commissioner Meadows, second by Commissioner Wilson. Commissioner Meadows.
Same thing, been through budget committee, that meeting.
Commissioner Wilson.
Nothing to add.
Any more questions or comments on 6/2018? Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Bell?
Aye.
Terry?
Yes.
Cunningham?
Yes.
Dees? Ellis?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
Hendrickson?
Yes.
Chester?
Yes.
Hickman?
Yes.
Cooks?
Yes.
Meadows?
Yes.
Moore?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Wilson?
Yes.
14 yes.
Resolution 6/2018 is adopted. Resolution 6/2019, a resolution of municipal transportation fund 144 reflecting changes in revenue expenditure estimates for 2019-2020 fiscal year. Motion by Commissioner Wilson, second by Commissioner White. Commissioner Wilson.
Clean up, been through the budget, nothing else.
Commissioner White.
Nothing to add.
More questions or comments on 6/2019? Clerk, call the roll.
Bell?
Aye.
Terry?
Yes.
Cunningham?
Yes.
Dees? Ellis?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
Hendrickson?
Yes.
Chester?
Yes.
Hickman?
Yes.
Cooks?
Yes.
Meadows?
Yes.
Moore?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Wilson?
Yes.
14 yes.
Resolution 6/2019 is adopted. Resolution 6/2021, a resolution approving Roane County 2-year Park and Recreation Master Plan. Mr. Meadows.
I'd make a motion to defer that until the July meeting.
Motion to defer 6/2021 to July meeting, second by Commissioner Hendricks. Commissioner Wilson, we're going to have a thing on the deferral.
No, I was just saying, 40.
This is at the request of the contract.
I just wanted to let everybody know that the Habitat for Humanity is opening a new Restore in Kingston. Grand opening will be June 19th. It's in the old Rosemary's Florist building. Grand opening will be from 11 to 3 on Friday the 19th. So I hope all of y'all can come out there and support the new business in Kingston.
Thought we was gonna get a parts. Thought we was gonna get a parts.
Resolution 6/2021, a resolution postponed by Commissioners for the next month, by Commissioner Meadows, second by Commissioner Hendricks. All in favor, say aye.
Which one was that?
The last one, 6/2021. All opposed, like sign. 6/2021 has been postponed.
Wait till
Now, we have added, wait the 12-day rule, 6/2022, the resolution for Roane County, Tennessee, amended the 2019 edition of the International Building Code. So I have a motion. Commissioner Moore, second by Commissioner Hood. Commissioner Moore.
What this is just a simple resolution. The state is still on the 2012 IBC codes. And what this does is I think, Mr. Woody, you can correct me if I'm wrong, it's a project over in Olive Springs that the school is doing. And under the 18 codes that we have adopted, it would require a storm shelter design for that building, up to 250-mile-an-hour winds. This will take us down to being even with what the state requires, and it's not required by the state. That's what it's about.
So we also have a request from the school board to exempt this section of the code.
No, currently under the 2012, the way it was written, it did not include section 423.4, which required storm shelters in educational facilities. Yes.
I'm good. Questions or comments on 6/2022, Mr. Hester?
So, that is the only thing that we're voting on, the storm shelter, or passing resolution for storm shelters for county schools, right? Is that correct?
In educational facilities.
Okay, but other things in the 2018, we've already eliminated some construction models out of there that would require an R22 sidewall, that would require all new stick building houses to be a 2x6 sidewall.
All of the amendments that you guys have passed have been within compliance with what the state statutes are.
And do you have a copy of that if I wanted to just come over and glance through it?
Yes, sir.
On education?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you, sir. No further questions.
Any more questions or comments? Clerk call roll.
Bell?
Aye.
Barry?
Yes.
Cunningham?
Yes.
Hughes? Ellis? Gann?
Yes.
Henderson?
Yes.
Hester?
Yes.
Hickman?
Aye.
Cook?
Yes.
Meadows?
Yes.
Moore? White?
Yes.
Wilson?
Yes.
14 yes.
Resolution 6, 2022 is adopted. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Now call the Autumn Springs Water Board meeting to order, the council meeting to order at this time. Would you lead us to the pledge, sir? Call the roll, Joe, first.
Ross Miller.
Here.
Jeff Bass.
Here.
Kenny Brown.
Here.
Jason Stillman. Terry Holland.
Here.
Don Schiller.
Here.
Got four.
Tom, would you lead us to the pledge?
Place the flag, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Joe, would you lead us to prayer, please?
Our Father, we come to you tonight and we ask that you would have mercy on our nation with all the rioting and the anger and the hatred going back and forth. And we pray that people would turn to you for solutions, because the problems that we face cannot necessarily be solved completely by man. It can only be solved through you, through your being in the hearts and minds and souls of each and every person, where we follow the commandment that Christ gave, and that commandment being love thy neighbor as thyself. We pray for our elected officials and our government services, servants on all levels. We pray you will give these men wisdom as we debate here tonight to manage the resources that you have most generously given. We ask all these things in thy Son's name. Amen.
Amen. Approval of minutes from last meeting. Anyone have, that's the one we want to make a correction on, Joe, but it's not a big thing. On the mowing of the cemetery, I did not participate. I just asked the men to participate, and they did a good job. But city manager asked them, and I just watched them.
I make a motion we accept the minutes with the provision to be made.
Okay? Got a motion, need a second?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. You have any discussion, Mr. Bass?
No.
Okay, Mr. Brown, no? Okay, anything else to add or subtract from minutes? Call roll, please.
Robert Miller.
Yes, sir.
Jeff Bass.
Yes.
Kenny Brown.
Yes.
Terry Holland.
Yes.
Don Schiller.
Yes.
Passed.
Okay, we give delegation from citizens. At this time, we give you 3 to 5 minutes, whatever you might need. Does anyone have anything? Come forward, please, and say your name and address, please.
My name is Janice Newport. I live at 192 Midway Drive, Olive Springs. I'm here because I received a late notice on my taxes, and I'm just now getting the investigative work done because of COVID-19, so I apologize for the late presentation of this. I didn't know that I was deemed late because everything that I do is through online banking. So when a check is sent through the mail, I assume that it's taken care of because I didn't receive anything until February. Couldn't do anything about it until recently because no one was in the bank. So here is the late notice. With that said, November 15th, I sent you all a check for my taxes. And I accidentally paid a little more according to my check. But I'm asking you all to take the late fee off, as this has happened last year. And it's the principle of the matter. I can pay the $7, but I am tired of paying $7 every year when I'm doing this online.
What day did you write the check, please?
November 8th is when it was sent. It was estimated to be delivered on November 15th. And I have a confirmation of the check was sent from my account, and I had the funds. So,
Do you have a confirmation when the check was processed?
the check was never cashed.
Never cashed, okay.
So,
Sorry.
here's what I'm saying to you is, I intend to pay this tax bill. I think it's wrong for me to have to pay a late fee on something that I've already paid. I don't know where the discrepancy happened. I don't know if the postman accidentally dropped it in the middle of the street. But this is not the only time this has happened. This happened last year, and I had to go chasing it. I paid the late fee because I thought, you know what? Maybe I made a mistake. Maybe I didn't understand how soon to send it out. Honest mistake. But this is the second year it's happened. I don't think that's okay.
What's the amount of the late charge? You don't mind telling me?
I'm sorry?
What's the amount of the late charge?
$7.
7.
I'll make a motion to remove, we just,
Let me offer this, and no reflection on you or any other taxpayer. It's my recollection that for property taxes and other revenue due to a government, you have to have a receipt issued by the government, and the date of the receipt is the date of payment. And if you have a receipt back in November 2019, then that means the town received the money and the treasurer credited the account, wrote the receipt, mailed it to you. If you got a late receipt or late bill, and you have the receipt showing that it was paid in November, then there's probably a bookkeeping error by the city treasurer.
I did not receive a receipt.
Well, see, that's why I was specific in terms of a receipt, because in contract law, if you pay a credit card bill, the bill is assumed to be paid the date of the postmark, notwithstanding the fact that the credit card company or others don't get it. Now, that's a matter of, I'll say, uniform commercial code law. That's why the credit card companies put in the credit card contract that it's not considered paid until the credit card company gets it, see? So, in state law, and you know, this is something that's hit me cold, and I'm speaking strictly from memory, and I could be wrong, but I know in my role as judge, people come in frequently, so I paid the court costs. And my standard response is, if you don't have a receipt that's numbered on Town of Olive Springs receipt book paper, it didn't get paid, period.
Well, the other taxes that were due on another property was processed that same day and did just fine.
Well, I'm not debating the point. What and if you bear with me, I've got a counter-proposing point. But what I'm saying is that you as a taxpayer came down and said you sent the money in. Okay, the textbook question to that is, do you have a receipt dated November 9th of 2019? No, I don't. Then the textbook answer from our auditors and from the comptroller's office is that you didn't pay it, we didn't get it, and you owe the $7. Now, that's, I'll say, the black letter law. Now, that's, quote, justice, close quote. But in courts and in law, you have a justice side, you have an equity side. The equity side of this is that I would agree you shouldn't have to pay the $7, because from my standpoint, I have to pay a number of fees as a lawyer and a businessman through Nashville using credit cards and check deductions and stuff. And my feeling is, if I don't get a bill from the state, you know, I don't pay. But then the state takes the position that you owe the money, and if you don't contact us and pay us, we're going to bill you, and we'll take your law license, or we'll levy on your property, or we'll do all these mean things to you, see? And that's why I'm showing the contrast, because from an equitable standpoint, you're 100% right. But from a law standpoint, it doesn't matter if you had 20 pieces of property, 19 got paid, the one that didn't get paid, no receipt. Now, it could have been an error on behalf of the town. Now, the next question I would say on electronic transfer, if the money didn't get credited in the Town of Olive Springs account, where'd the money go?
It's still in my account, even though we sent the check. I don't know what happened to the check after it left my bank, but my stance is, do you know what purchases you made this week, every day this week, do you know what bills you paid? Don't you hope that you paid it like you're supposed to, and you're able to take it off your check?
Okay, when you ask that question, Joe Van Hook, my answer is every time I get my canceled checks in monthly, I go over my checks and match them to the bills I pay. And if I don't have a copy, nowadays don't send you a canceled check, they send you a photocopy of it. And I have my CPA at the office, he actually lives in Powell, but I match the check to an invoice. And if I write a check, he'll show that check not cleared. And then he lets me know that this invoice didn't get paid or this check is still outstanding and so on. Now, like I said, see, that's the black letter accounting law. But I agree with you because I get so tired of the problems we face with electronic banking and people make mistakes. Post office, you know, I mailed for years stuff to the clerk and master out in Wartburg without a post office box, and suddenly they started sending it back. And there's one clerk and master, and there's one courthouse in Wartburg, and so on like that, and they just said, well, we put out regulations that had to have a post office box on it. And I've told the postmaster, if I practice law the way that you run the post office, I'd be sued for malpractice and been out of business. Because I resent the fact that the bureaucracy does not use common sense, and the state law does not have common sense. And see, you fall into this category of the common sense argument that the $7 should be forgiven. But these gentlemen, I think, should understand that if the taxpayer or the person that pays fines and costs doesn't have a receipt, hadn't been paid. Because that's what our auditors hold us to from a professional standpoint. We'd be written up if we give credit for stuff without having receipts for it, or purchase orders, whatever it might be.
I understand that, and I do understand what you're saying about a receipt. But the hindsight, the other side to that is I have my head down working every day. I'm not busy trying to chase a receipt. I'm not an accountant. I will keep better records of this, but this happened last year, and I'm frustrated because this happened last year. I'm asking you all to remove the $7 on principle, and if you don't, I understand, but I'm asking you to do the right thing. If you were in my shoes, what would you do?
I do have to say something. I would feel amiss if I didn't bring this up. And I don't mean to cast doubt or disparagement, but I do have to bring this up because they do need to know before they make their decision. For Roane County, do you also own property in Roane County?
I do.
We have records here that in 2016, 17, 18, that it was late. And then for the property you're talking about currently, it was late in 18 and in 19, this current year.
Okay.
So I have to bring that up, that there is a pattern.
I have receipts here showing what I did. You're welcome to look at them.
Oh, I believe you. I believe you. I believe that you did send it, but I just want to let the council know that there has been a pattern last year, this year, for this current property we're discussing, and the other property in Roane County back in 15, 16, and 17, that it was late as well. So I just had to let y'all know that. I can't.
And did you get your late fees?
That's 100% yes, but this one is the one we're in question, but I just had to let them know that it has happened in the past.
When did you get the late fee?
Let's see.
In the mail, I guess, or?
This is dated, it doesn't say, but it says total due with penalty and interest through 6 of 2020. So this month I have to pay the late fee and, $122 plus $7 or $122.
I mean, you got it a week ago?
I don't have a thing on.
I was just curious.
You called
to
it,
hear that
as I recall, you called the tax office about it.
I've called every day this week between patients. I have called because last year, he's right, I was late because the same thing happened. I sent the checks through the mail for everything that I was supposed to send because I thought I can't go chasing down the taxes. I need to pay them all online. So last year, the same thing happened. I had a property that I had to go back and pay the money for and the late fee. And I do believe it was the property here, downtown Oliver Springs.
Where do you drop your letters or mail? Will they pick it up at your office or your house?
No, this is directly from the bank.
That was online, all of it.
So,
Was this city and county now?
this is
That's a city?
city.
The county didn't have a problem with their money? That's the city.
Just the city.
What bank is it?
Enrichment. The other tax bill that was due the same day as this property made it just fine. Am I correct?
I don't know. Yeah, I guess.
For this year, for 2020, for 2019.
The other property, they both got paid for 18 and 19. And yes, it made it in.
I wonder if there's an electronic problem in the transfer.
I think we can answer to the auditors. It will be right up, they have to look at it, but I think personally we can answer to the auditors. I don't think it's any fault of hers, but it's up to the council. I
Maybe
think.
a recommendation, you come down here and pay it next time.
I did, okay.
Or I'd write a check myself, that's the only thing I ever write checks for anymore, is taxing.
Well,
Just for the joke.
Well, make the motion, we take the $7 off, which is still the regular tax.
Got a motion, got a second, get a second.
I'll say that.
Got a motion and a second. Any more discussion? We'll advise her that the $7 will be coming.
Got it voted on.
You got to vote, yes.
Okay, have you paid it already? Are you going
no,
to pay?
I'm waiting to see what I
Just
pay.
subtract the $7 off, and Ramona will tag probably the receipt or whatever to this motion and second.
If there's not any more discussion, we'll just call
Because
the roll
auditors
and
will
let
have
her do
to,
it.
it's got a balance.
Yeah, she'll balance it. Call the roll, please.
Robert Miller,
Yes, sir.
Jeff Bass,
Yes.
Kenny Brown,
Yes.
Terry Holland,
Yes.
Don Shelby.
Yes.
Passed.
Sorry this happened to you.
Thank you.
I know it's inconvenient to come to here, and I appreciate you bringing it up, but I wish everybody would come here with their problems instead of calling us, though.
Well, I already did.
No, yeah, we know you've been calling. So,
Have a good day.
thank you, bye-bye. Anybody else from the audience? Where am I at? You're grunting like I haven't done something here. What am I at?
You're up.
Comments from mayor.
Oh, me, I don't remember now what I was gonna say. You guys got me frustrated here. Starting the TV on me early and all that. Well, I said a lot of things at the beginning when we were live, and I didn't realize we were live, and some of you guys were getting water and stuff, or taking breaks in between the water board, and I still would like to commend the citizens of the wellness, wellness checks they've been doing and complying with most of the regulations or governor's rules that he puts out that they recommend, and that's kept our sickness down low, and I appreciate them cooperating with us during the city hall being closed and dropping their bills and boxes, et cetera, and not being aggravated at us and calling us and being patient with us during the spring cleanup. This was different than it ever has been, and hopefully it'll never happen again. And we want to cooperate with every citizen we can and do the best job we can to get it done. This council and I will do everything, and the city manager to help with the city, and that's what we're here for, is to serve citizens. And I appreciate your comfort and that you give me, and knowing that you're trying to take care of your health and your children's health and being patient. That's all, city manager.
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to publicly thank Rocky Top for allowing us to borrow their brush truck. We were able to use it to pick up a majority of brush throughout the city, and we did a ride around and made a list. Buster did that for us, and also we did a scheduled pickup where people had called in. The cemetery is scheduled to be mowed early next week. In addition, the new tractor has been out mowing throughout the week, and the repairs on the 4-lane is scheduled for potholes, and also Spring Street as well, East Spring Street. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Okay, Mr. Miller.
I have nothing this time, sir.
Mr. Bass.
Nothing at this time.
Mr. Brown.
Yeah, we're talking about potholes, the bridge going out of all the springs in the Norwood area, right there at the Orville Anderson sign. There's a chunk of something come out of that asphalt right there, and there's no way you can not hit it unless you get in another lane, and then, sometimes you can't get in that other lane. It's not that big, but it is, you know, it's right there on the edge, but it's right there by the signs, there's R. Anderson and right there where the 4 lanes at, and that bridge. And is there anything update on this drain out here at the businesses where smoker friendly and the dog stuff and then the jewelry store?
Yes, that's a private drive. We're gonna contact them. We went and looked at it, but it's a private drive. They own that, and they need to be the one to widen it.
Well, now, owning it and so much maintaining it, is the drain our responsibility?
We'll dig the ditch. We'll dig the ditch, but the culvert's theirs as well.
But I know it's people coming around, when they come around the drive-through, they don't give people enough room.
Yeah, it needs to be expanded more.
Either that or you know, no exit sign or something, you know, right there when they go on up to the other area, but that's still another thing too. But somebody's gonna get in that ditch. They have already, I know, and hopefully they be. But other than that, that's all I want to say too on cleanup, you know. I didn't realize they were doing it till I seen them come down the road. And got some brush up out on Dean Valley, and I appreciate them doing that. That's all I know.
Anything, sir?
Yeah, that's good on the cleanup. Some said it's kind of sloppy about throwing stuff in that dumpster. One side is empty, the other side is running over.
We had to pack it down and get it home.
Is there another one there, or is it over, or?
It's over.
It ended on the 28th or 29th.
So it's over.
It's over.
And the tractor, how many hours you think's on it?
Ooh, I don't know. I can text you. I'm not sure. A lot. We run it all the time.
So that's what I'm saying, somebody's doing good.
It hasn't really stopped running unless something goes wrong.
First 2 days, we had it slow running.
Yeah, it was slow.
Had problems with the first 2 days.
Actuator problems or so.
They haven't hit that stop, it's getting pretty fast.
Yeah, that was fixed, yeah. They gave us new parts for it.
And do we get any answers from the, what would we call it, warden or whatever, on the status of getting their?
I called down Mr. Waters, and I'm waiting on his return call. He's in charge of the inmate crew.
I'm assuming.
Just a couple things. You might have told us, but could you give me an update on that trailer that's supposed to went for taxes there on Butler Mill, or it was going to be?
I think that got sold, actually. The right man's here to talk about it. If you want to, you can, I'll.
It has been sold, and the new owner, so we will be going out with the new owner to try and get it cleaned up.
Oh, okay.
Is there additional lot there beside it that needs cleaning up also?
There's a couple on Butler Mill that we already have.
Yeah, I had that on, I appreciate it.
I had a call from a lady there, said that her property was nice, but 2 properties adjoining hers weren't.
There's 2 properties on Butler Mill that are in the city attorney's hands.
Okay. I'm sorry to take up your time there. We'll give you some extra.
I'd like to thank whoever done it. It's probably Jerry Brown covering up all that asphalt down there by the flea market. It looks a whole lot better if anybody noticed. You know, it's all piled up. It's all.
This guy here coordinated that.
Did you coordinate that?
I tried to, but it was.
Looks good. And the cleanup, Terry answered on cleanup, I guess it's going pretty good. That's all I got.
Okay.
Can I ask Mr. Cover a question?
Yes.
On Butler Mill, is one of them got a roof with a blue tarp on it? Is that one of the candidates? If you look on Google Earth, you can see it. That's how long it's been there.
Okay, I'll take a look at that, make sure.
It's on the hill.
Yeah, I'll have to verify that with you. Will you text me the address of that piece of property?
Yeah, okay.
I'll be glad to go check.
And actually, Terry, if tonight is passed, the updated building codes, part of that is you can't have a tarp on your roof for so long. So if
But
that's
it's long
passed,
enough, it's on Google Earth.
That's,
That is long enough.
Google just run that yesterday.
No, it's.
Chief, are you finished? Chief, you got anything?
you're on the agenda, Chief, for 1 and 2.
Okay, so you got anything?
He's got 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, he's got.
Finally got the lease today
I
on the.
They're not there yet, unless he wants to jump to it.
No, I thought that's what you wanted.
You're on.
No, you're on the new business also.
No, I can wait. I thought we was ready for start.
No, we just wanted to know, you got any updates? If you don't, I'm sorry. Fire chief, got anything?
Oh, he can stay there.
Okay, you're on the thing too. Old business. Now we're gonna get to you, just like you stay up here. if you want to. Old business? See, we got these newfangled things, and today is the first time we've used them, so. Any old business, new business. Item 1. Discuss and possibly approve Mayor Cox to sign a year's lease agreement for $1 for shooting range for the police department.
Finally got the lease today. It's for $1 a year.
You go ahead.
The
Park and Bridge?
No, this is at the end of Big Mountain.
At the end of Big Mountain?
Yeah. That's the end of Big Mountain. They, I don't know if any of them remember, but we had a shooting range up at Shut Lake where they put the cabins years ago. And when they put the cabins in, they took our shooting range in as part of that. And we were promised one back then, and that's when Chuck was still up there. And they finally agreed to give us a piece of property, and it's all the way to the end of Big Mountain where the trail starts.
Is this fenced in and everything where nobody else can get in?
Yeah, it's all the way at the end.
That's not the one highway up the road leads into that gas.
No, this is right all the way at the end of, you know where one of the Brady boys live at the end of Big Mountain?
Yeah.
It's across the road, where they used to be a house used to sit. And this gives us that, stipulations are that it's $1 a year, we've got to gate it, we've got to sign it, we've got to do all that, so everybody knows it's a live fire range. This is pretty much almost the same kind of lease they did with the outfit that shoots up there on the mountain, run the shooting range.
I'll make a motion that we approve the mayor to sign the lease for the agreed $1 a year for the shooting range.
Okay, got a motion, need a second. Got a motion and a second. Any discussion?
You just got to put a flag up and sign out there on the
Yeah, we've got
top.
to sign it, gate it, we've got to do everything, because all around the property line, we've got to, every 75 feet, we've got to have a sign that says it's a shooting range and all that.
Is this something we can turn into maybe something for citizens to, like the Oak Ridge Sportsman Club?
If we do that, then we're gonna have to start paying insurance and all kinds of fees on it if we do that.
We're not gonna go any further than where we are.
No, just us.
Okay, any more comments, suggestions? Call the roll, please.
Robert Miller,
Yes.
Jeff Bass,
Yes.
Kenny Brown,
Yes.
Terry Holland,
Yes.
Don Shelby.
Yes.
Passed.
Okay, discuss and possibly approve Police Chief Kenneth Morgan to apply for a local support grant for the purchase of radios.
And I know Justin's gonna argue over this one. The money that the governor gave all the cities last year, or for this upcoming year, the city's share of it was $105,000, just a little over. And my radios, our radios we bought back in 2000, I think 2010 when we started that process and bought those about 11. So they're at their 10-year limit on the portables. They're real bad. And what I'm wanting to do, if true, to get this money, is buy new radios. And the total price on those is going to be right at $110,000 to get the new portables and mobiles. And that'll put us on the Valley system so we can talk to Anderson County, Roane County, Oak Ridge. Right now, we can't talk to any of them. We're not on the same radio system.
Just a question. Are you asking for permission to seek bids with the idea that the bids would come in at some point in the future and we can get the money, then we'd sign the contract or come back before council, assuming they pass it, you'd sign the contract? Is this for information only, or are you asking for a motion in a second? And if so, we don't have the money yet, we don't have a contract yet.
Now, I've already got the bids, but until this is decided, they just handing the bids out.
Even though this is a grant, he's got to apply for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a grant through the state, it's free money, no payback.
Well, do you want and I'm just thinking out loud, because you can have the motion to accept the low bid for X dollars, and I need that information for my minutes, and to be paid for out of this $105,000 grant if and when we get it, then it would be contingent on if you don't get the grant, chief can't do it. But when we get the grant and the money comes in, then chief can do it, or maybe we've got to buy it and then submit to be reimbursed from the grant, whatever the procedure is. I just want to make sure I know what,
The money's there, we got to submit the grant no later than July the 1st, 21.
21, yeah.
have we got the
So-
money already?
And it can't be paid after July 1.
I think what the chief's asking for now is just permission to fill it out and see if he can get it, because it's, as in
Is
line.
that correct?
Yeah, it's a guaranteed money. If you fill it out and put in for it, the city just has to pass a resolution okaying it.
I'll make a motion that we let him apply for the grant.
And motion is second.
I'll say.
Motion and second, any discussion, more discussion?
What's the cost if you get the grant?
It's the radios and everything right at $110,000. I'm gonna be able to get Anderson County to put the bill for one of the mobile radios and everything to put at the station for the console. They're gonna put that money, but we're still gonna be out somewhere between $505,000 and $107,000. And I've got the extra money to pay whatever's.
How long are the bids good for?
Huh?
How long are the bids good for?
They're good for 90 days right now.
Okay.
Well, I mean, how much is the grant paying?
$105,600 and
So it's a
something.
total of 200.
No, it's $105,000.
What's it costing?
Doesn't cost the city anything.
Oh, okay.
It's free money.
Okay.
Yeah,
I sort of thought you said, but that, you.
It's not a matching grant, it's a
Yeah.
grant, but you have to apply for it as if you're just going to pay for it.
Oh, okay.
These radios you got there, you can't even contact these.
So we can't talk to Anderson County, Roane County, Oak Ridge, we can't talk to anybody around us right now.
I got that somewhere.
And this
But you're
trips back
keeping
before
the
we
same-
can talk to them.
You're keeping the same frequency.
No, we're moving up to 700 megahertz up to the valley system.
Oh.
That's where everybody else is gone and just left us behind.
In our equipment in the dispatch can handle that already?
Yeah, it can handle it already, it's just, and like I say, 911 about it, said, once I get all this done, then I can go to them and ask them for them to kick in and pay that part of it.
This is
I
single
got a question. I understand we got this grant, but I also understand we was going to give you half of it to the fire department, half of it.
Yeah, like, that's the reason I was asking for all of it for radios, because half of it wouldn't do me any good for
Well,
radios.
I'm just saying, you know, we need a fire truck. And we
Half of it won't buy fire truck.
well, with his other money that he's got appropriated to a grant, it's my understanding that he can purchase the fire truck. But he needs the half of this money, which, you know, I mean, it's not that I don't want you to have your radio, but I also know what's gonna happen if we don't get this fire truck.
Now, it's the same thing as what's gonna happen when we need to talk to somebody and can't.
Is there some way we could maybe, do something to, you know?
Just enjoy this situation, please.
Yeah.
We're not fighting amongst each other. because-
No.
Justin's got some, we can probably get some more money, we hope.
So, as far as the fire truck grant goes, we was going to get the money through the state this year before, obviously, our nice little COVID happened. When that happened, we was going to match 150,000 that was going to come from the state, and then the 155 that the council already approved me to go ahead and start seeking, but I've not signed any paperwork or anything. And in conversation with Thomas, our current budget situation and everything, most likely we was going to hold off until after July 1 anyway. That way we kick that down the road to the next budget year. That way that 20,000 can be taken out of my budget and used for some of the overages in other areas. That's something that I understand that has to happen. At the same time, I also know his need because I'm in the same need. Our radios are the same system, or our radios are the same years, everything. I'm having the same issues that he is. The only difference is I've applied for $190,000 to replace mine through an AFG grant, which when we move up the Tennessee Valley, I'm in the same boat with him. I can't talk to nobody around us. So, you know, when everybody else moved up, Roane County, Oak Ridge has moved up. That's two of my major mutual aid partners. The only other one is Marlowe. Marlowe and Anderson County is planning on moving up themselves. So as all of us start moving the Tennessee Valley system, it's a major cost. His is less just because, in fact, I've got 20 guys on the roster. He's got 12. So that extra cost is where that comes in. I also have to keep tri-band on mine because I also deal with Morgan County and a couple of the other areas that we go to. So I know what 155, so the 155,000 that we talked about as far as a loan, I know what it'll buy as far as a used apparatus. I also know if we split it, I know what 205,000 would buy as a used apparatus. It ain't gonna be a new apparatus at 205,000. You know, that's one of the things, that's why we was going for the 150 through the governor's appropriation. I attempted the AFG process, we've been kicked out of the AFG process as far as a truck, several times. So when we got kicked out that last time, we thought we had a winner with the other. We withheld on applying this time around on the AFG, just because we already had the other things appropriated. So that's kind of the situation for the fire truck. I'm still down in apparatus. We're still operating 50%. You know, it's there. I also know what his need is as well. So that's the problem. You've got two public safety agencies that both have needs, that both cost a lot of money. And, you know, there's no easy answer. That's why you guys get paid the big bucks.
Well, I look at it this way, we're not gonna make either one of you 100% equal.
I'm ready.
With this grant money we're getting from national, if we split it, you're both still gonna be half an operation of what you want.
Right.
So I think there might be a possibility of getting some additional money for the fire truck. Am I wrong or am I right?
No, as far as I know, no. As far as I know, no. The only other grant that is possibly open, the council uses for water line and sewage. And that's the one that so like right now, you got Wartburg City that just bought, actually Wartburg area, volunteer fire department just bought a fire truck. Several other areas just bought a fire truck. They got that on the CBG grant. Every department that put in for a CBG grant got it, 100%. So that's just.
We could put in for them because we got two.
We got sewer and water, and at the same time, you know, I attend council meetings, I know what other areas are needed. Water is just as much need as it is for a fire truck for me. So, you know, it's a balancing act. Knowing his need, and like I spoke with Thomas and stuff, and I spoke with Kenny, I told him you know, chase him down in a dark alley later. But knowing his need and knowing what the cost of the radios is, my personal suggestion, because I know what fire truck I can get with that amount of money, that's going to last us 10 to 20 years down the road, that's going to be the lifespan of his radios as well. My personal opinion is still go the route that we was planning on going in the 155 and then him get the radios, because I know that that's a need that he needs as much as I do. The only difference is I'm applying for an AFG grant that he don't have access to, and I can't put him in on it.
So we're not going to have a feud between you two?
No, there's going to be a feud later, but you know, that's just normal.
Next 4 to 5 years down the road, you got priority, right?
Next year, well, that's in next month.
So to answer your question.
I'm just, you know, I understand, but how much more are we gonna have to appropriate for you on your end of it?
On my end of it, mine's covered by the budget. So that $20,000 that was sitting there,
Yeah.
that's in my budget, and all of you just kind of saw what the budget was, and then I put it back in there for next year. That 20,000 covers that loan.
I'm talking about the fire truck part. We're not anywhere close to getting one, is what you're saying, right?
If you guys approve me to apply for the loan and go purchase a fire truck, I can do it tomorrow.
He just can't get the fire truck that he would rather have. He can get a fire truck.
I can get a fire truck. I mean, I see them, and this is the thing on used fire apparatus. As soon as they hit the market, now there's a few that kind of linger out, and I know Robert watches the fire truck market just as much as I do. He sees them, this used apparatus. As soon as they hit the market, the ones that you want, they're gone the next day. If not, they're gone before, because somebody's called ahead and said, I need X, Y, and Z. The ones that are still lingering on the market, they linger on the market more than 3 months. It's probably not the truck you want. So that's just one of them things that, you know, you've got to be on top of it. That, you know, there's one that I saw in Laverne, Tennessee, and I spoke with Thomas on it. It met every mark that we needed. And I called, he goes, I sold it an hour ago.
So we need to give you approval to get it, to process the grant, or what do we need to do?
If you want the approved process loan, so here's the fact, I've dealt with loans several times, and Thomas, please correct me if I'm wrong. I can kick the payment to January 1 for the first payment, which if we do it right now, I'm not affecting this year's budget. It would actually be next year's budget that would be affected. So that 20,000 would be then. That's where, we can kick that payment to where if you do January 1, then you got your tax revenue coming in as well. And that's what we did on the last loan that we've got. We done it on January 1 payment. That way we had tax revenue, we had sales tax revenue, and it got both of them. And that way we didn't break the bank when we hit $20,000 payment right
I'm just saying, for the bottom line is that if we don't get one, then the insurance companies is gonna.
If your insurance company still uses ISO, absolutely.
They're gonna come in, what, at the end of this year?
January, I'm looking at January to March, somewhere in that. Well, it'd be 2021.
2021. So
Right.
I'd like to make a motion, we give him to go get the loan, or.
We need to vote on this first.
You need to get this first.
Okay.
We got a motion second on you, and we got discussion. We just wanted him up here. I wanted him up here to make sure we had the right feelings.
I'm
Since
fine.
you brought that up.
I'm fine with giving Chief Morgan that money, and if we can,
Let's vote then.
okay.
Robert
Yes,
Miller.
sir, wait a minute. Robert's got a question.
Joe. When we did the last ones, Chief, we got them in 12, and we broke it down in five 6-year payments of $13,788 a year, which came out to $69,800 something dollars. We financed them.
But you really get the same radios.
No, it wasn't.
These radios are updated.
We bought the bottom of the line then.
Bottom line, these are top line radios.
And they're going to a different frequency. But can we not apply for a loan?
We can apply for a loan on this fire truck too.
That's the reason I was trying to use this one and keep having to do another line.
I'm trying to we're trying to not have as many loans on the books. I know we get a good interest rate on them, but the least amount of loans we keep on the books, the better off we are, I think. But, City Manager, you got any comments?
No comments.
Which would be your preference?
I mean, if they're in agreement, and if the council's in agreement, I mean, it's a grant that's really
It's for this purpose.
It's really narrow of what you can do with this grant anyway. And public safety is one of the things you can do with
I
it.
know no more important public safety than the fire department and the police department, so.
I mean, what's the odds of getting a grant?
100%.
It's guaranteed grant.
So we're not,
They just got designated, that's all they
So-
got.
It costs us nothing.
If you
what's
guys
what I'm
don't
saying, you're
mind,
not gonna have to get a loan, because it's kind of free in a way.
Yeah, it's free money.
I can add in on the difference in the radios, Robert, if you don't mind. The difference is now with the new frequencies and the new FCC regulations for public safety, they are supposed to be P25 compliant. So when they start going into P25 compliant, I know Kingston has them on the older bands and stuff. When they start going P25 compliant, price goes up. So for instance, the reason for the P25 compliant, like when we went to Gatlinburg, as far as the fire department, and I'll use that as an example because that's been, well, there's been a couple here lately. Cook will have the same issue. The departments that come in that don't have a P25 compliant radio, they ain't talking to anybody unless they have that one frequency in their bank of radios. We didn't have it when we went to Gatlinburg as far as our radio system. The P25 compliant radios, they're public safety rated, they're made to take a beating for public safety. The commercial brand like the HD 1250s that we have, that all of us are carrying right now, they don't hold up as much. We've been able to take care of them and stuff, but I use the P25 compliant radios at work. We ran over them with fire trucks and they keep going. So they are a much sturdier radio system than what we currently have with less issues. They're moving up the 700 band. We've got towers all the way around us now on that 700-800 split band frequency. Not only is the mutual aid an issue for us, but we have better radio coverage than, like, specifically my radio system, because that 1V that comes over our houses and stuff, that 1B ain't getting out. Whereas if we, say, even if we was on the radio system, I would get out from my house talking to Nashville if I needed to, just because of the radio coverage.
So is it a trunk line system?
It's a trunking system.
So the president, what we try to do now, the chief will get $105,000 or $6,000 and so many dollars with no payback. He'll get a fire truck out of his budget. If we get any help anywhere else, that's good.
More than likely, he'll probably get an AFG grant for his radio. There's just no law enforcement grants out
I'd
there.
say if we have a real problem that you all could communicate, you could probably borrow one of your radios and let him use it to communicate with each other.
He's got one of those already.
Okay. Okay. Call roll? Now, are you satisfied, Mr. Miller? Okay, call roll.
Robert Miller,
Yes.
Jeff Bass.
Yes.
Kenny Brown.
Yes.
Terry Holland.
Yes.
Mike Schillings.
Yes.
Okay, item,
Wait, wasn't there something else that Kenneth was talking about?
no, I don't think so. Kenneth, you got your question answered, didn't you?
Yep, I just wanted to make sure we,
Make sure that we weren't taking something away from the fire department to keep them from operating.
yeah, that's fine.
I was just talking about, I think he was talking about the loan.
Yeah.
Whether apply now or,
Well,
I'm not certain.
I mean, if that's the,
Oh, okay, you,
but if
Is that not- it's
we
not on the
can do it
agenda.
now, I just didn't do it, you know.
I can bring it up next council meeting if you guys.
well, we can add it, I guess, if we want to do it tonight, we can, I guess. Can't we, Joe? Add it to the budget?
But it's something we're gonna have to do, whether we want to or not, right?
Okay, our radio, our TV guy's getting impatient over there, we got. No.
Back truck.
Okay, do we want to do anything else on that, or are we satisfied with that? Okay, discuss and possibly approve the animal control officer, Mark Needy, to attend building and codes classes not to exceed $1,000.
Now, when we change up to this, I found him a class that he can take online, and it's the same one that Clinton City put their codes guy through, and they're the ones that recommended it. And it's $495 for him to take a class. There's one this month, and there's another one in August. And that will help us on, that gets him certified on.
So you don't go to North Carolina?
No, it's all online.
Okay.
Oh, you'll have to go to South.
No, we found one where he didn't have to go, he can do it online. And the only reason I'm bringing it up now, one is this month, or later, but the one in August, we can bring up, next month.
Okay. What does that do? Just gets him more familiar with the codes?
Gets him familiar with all the codes and all that stuff. And
They
gets
don't
him
license him or nothing like that?
The second one will. The second one will.
The second one will?
Yeah.
So we can fire Glenn then, right?
Yeah. Now, what this does, this is just gonna be a help to them, because this gets him where he can go out and write, and start the condemnation letters and do all that stuff, and get everything off over into court, and try to speed things up a little bit, and it will help them.
Not just Steve.
Is this $400 gonna cover both of them, or just one of them?
No, that's just one of them. That's what I say, I hated to bring it up, but we just found out about this, the other day.
So, do you want to send, where's he gotta go to the other one at, North Carolina?
No, he does them both here, online.
Both, okay. And
Most of those classes, you find them, you've got to go somewhere
So
and take them.
$1,000 will cover two classes?
Do what?
$1,000 going to cover two?
Yeah, $1,000 cover both, but the other one's out of the next budget, so that's the reason I thought we'd wait till
Okay.
July and do that one when it comes around, because that's not
Motion
the
to approve.
Got a motion?
I'll second.
Got a motion, got a second. You got any more comments? Yes, you have any more? Okay, Mr. Miller, you got comments? Anybody? Looked like you was getting ready to draw down on it.
This is under the same subject. Did our BZA,
What is Orange Fields, did what?
our, not BZA,
Planning Commission?
Planning Commission, did they approve the new codes?
They said we didn't have to.
Don't have to, right?
The state guy did.
State guy, we contacted Lynn, not Lynn, but,
Paul.
What planning commission only controls your subdivision regulations and zoning ordinances. This is building codes.
And this is new, out of new southern.
International Code Council.
And this is the building code plus also the property maintenance
Yes.
code, which is what we need to help us.
Yep.
we've got it
They said
similar,
we-
it's in our books similar, but we've got them spread out in 3 different books, and this puts everything in one, correct? Kind of,
Kind of. When it comes to residential, it does.
yeah,
Commercial, industrial,
yeah,
and
it's different.
it's a huge volume of books.
So I thought we had to, Robert, and I was wrong, and they said we didn't have to, so I brought it up that time.
Yeah, we talked about that, so that's.
Okay.
Anybody else have any discussion? I can tell Robert's gonna drop down and I'll look over there, so. Okay, call the roll, Joe. We do have a motion second.
Yes, sir.
Jeff Bass.
Yes.
Kenny Brown.
Yes.
Terry Hall.
Yes.
Ron Shell.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, right quick.
Discuss and possibly approve the ordinance to amend the International Building Code, IBC, and related codes for the town of Olive Springs.
I'll motion to approve.
I'll second.
A motion and a second. Any more discussion?
Leave the radio.
I got a question. Glenn, does this hamper new growth and, or is it gonna help get rid of the tarp roof people, I guess?
Yeah.
Most of the time it backfires, we can't still make them clean up their mess and then we'll build something or.
Well, you got two ordinances in front of you, okay? The first one is the International Building Codes. And what the International Building Codes covers is your commercial industrial properties, okay? Like I said, it's a full body. You got the International Fire Code, the existing building code, property maintenance code, and everything that comes along with that. And yes, this will give the city of Olive Springs a little more authority on cleaning up some of the issues that we have. And no, it does not. When it comes to hampering development, it does not do that.
That or this other one?
Well, what you also have is you have a state, a DCA section that says that if you have building codes in your jurisdiction, you have to be within 7 years of the most current code available. Right now, we're on the 12th code, which we're out of compliance. And what we were waiting around to make sure is what the state was going to do. And the state likes to drag their feet. They were still on the old 98 code for a long time. And the amendments that we proposed in the resolutions are exactly what the state adopted.
So is this the 16 copy they're coming out of?
No, it's 2018. Yeah. Codes go in 3 years. So, like, we had the 12 code, a new code come out in 15, a new code come out 18. This will set us for the next 6 years.
Okay, item 4 is industrial, and item 5 is city, or, residential.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So when we pass these, is that gonna give us any more teeth on this mess out here on the 4-lane? Where they
Where the trailers
park the
are.
trailers by the day?
That stays within your zoning ordinances, but we could possibly use that property maintenance code for that.
I'd offer this observation. You got all the teeth you need, you just gotta put the money behind it.
We do, and this updates everything.
Because see, you gotta file your lawsuit, you gotta have the building inspector go out and write them the citations. If they don't come into compliance, then you gotta hire your city attorney to file a lawsuit, probably in Anderson County Chancery Court.
That will be in Anderson County Chancery Court, yes,
See,
sir.
at that point, you're looking at several $1,000s in your attorney time, which you may or may not get back out of your landowner. So if you want teeth, all you need to do is create a line item for codes enforcement of $25,000, I'll say, and put Glenn and the city attorney to work.
We just did in the county budget the same thing. The way the chancellors are working now is that they will give the orders to the cities, to the counties to clean the properties up. And you go in and you clean it up and you place a lien on that piece of property for the city to get paid back for its money.
So you can take those trailers to the scrap?
Yes, sir. You sure can.
Well, see, let's look at that. Somebody's got to pay the hauler to haul those trailers. And if those trailers are not structurally sound, they're going to disintegrate. And then you got a mess on the highway to clean up. And see, whoever's hauling it has to pay that cleanup mess, and that cost is passed on to the city, and we pass it on to the landowner. But see, if we get a lien on the trailer's not worth anything. So we don't get any money. If you told the trailer to a junkyard or a demolition place, you may pay them for the privilege of tearing that thing down. So if you're looking for a way to get it cleaned up where it doesn't cost the city anything, I've got a whole bunch of land in Florida that I'll be glad to sell you, that half the time you got 3 or 4 feet of water that you can take a bath in on it. Because, and he's right, Greg LaFuse is county attorney, and he's got 4 or 5, maybe as many as 10 cases once a month down there, once every couple of months dealing with cleanup. So
Yeah,
Roane
but he's not
County,
dealing with 15 trailers sitting out here on the side of the road people's looking at every day.
I guarantee you, you put the money in a cleanup line item in the budget, and the city attorney will take care of it.
But there you go again, what you do with them once you,
Well, you have to understand, there's solutions to it, you just have to budget to pay,
Let me make a
front the
point.
cost, and then maybe or maybe not, you get back on the
Let me
telephone.
make a point. I don't think we have a motion on the floor yet, do we?
No.
Okay. All we're doing is trying to pass these 2 ordinances. We've got ordinance in effect now. Okay, just a minute. We've got ordinance in effect now. We'll take care of the problem. This updates everything, okay? It's part, some of the stuff we already have that's in these. So we update these, then we have to worry about which way we're going to solve the problem. These need to be updated. But updating means we're not going to clean that property off. It gives us some guidance on how to do it.
Yeah.
Okay?
I'll make a motion that we approve the ordinance.
We already got a motion second and
You said-
discussion.
I did.
Yeah, number 4, yeah, we've got.
That's number 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll get it, have a vote.
Discussion over. We've got a motion by, who made the first motion?
John made the
Second.
motion.
Second by Mr.
Jeff seconded it.
Who did the second?
Jeff,
Hess?
Yeah.
Okay, and we've discussed it. Any more discussion? Call the roll, please.
Robert Miller.
yes, sir.
Jeff Bass.
Yes.
Kenny Brown.
Yes.
Terry Hall.
Yes.
Don Shelby.
Yes.
Item 5 is nearly the same thing, except it's covering residential. Discuss the possibility of approving an ordinance to amend the International Residential Codes, IRC, for the town of Olive Springs.
I'll make the motion.
We got a motion by Mr. Bass. Need a second? Need a second?
I'll second.
We got a second? Any more discussion? Call the roll, please.
Robert Miller.
Yes.
Jeff Bass.
Yes.
Kenny Brown.
Yes.
Terry Hall.
Yes.
Don Shelby.
Yes.
Passed.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Okay, you can step out this next one if you want to. Are you going to stay?
Yep.
Discuss and possibly approve a bid for demolition of the house at 428 Kingston Avenue. 2 bids required. Hey, man. City manager?
Thank you, Mayor. We bidded this project out, and in your packet, you'll see the bid form that was for 428 Kingston Avenue to have that house torn down. The bids came in with 2 bids. There were several plan holders, but 2 came in. We read them aloud, and Terry Duncan, $5,825 was the low bid. The other bid was first place finish, and it was $5,890. So I recommend the low bid of $5,825 with Terry Duncan and his company to tear the house down at 428 Kingston Avenue.
Let's haul it off, clean it up and everything, right?
Yes, sir.
Complete.
Sort it back and start it.
Yep.
Sort it back.
Then we'll have another thing that we've got to pursue through the city attorney.
That's 5,000, we're never gonna get back.
That's the next thing we have to do. We're going to put a lien on the property to get our 5,000.
It's exactly what Joe was talking about. Then we got to lien the property and
I'll make
This thing's been going on for 17 years, I think. It's been condemned since 2015.
Yeah.
And it's went to court, and we've got the authority. Joe, out of kindness of his heart, he and I weren't real comfortable with the judge ruled it, we could tear it down, and he and I wasn't real comfortable without notifying the finance company because we had indicated it might be another owner or 2. And so he wrote a letter, and we sent that out certified mail, and we didn't get a reply from one. We got a reply that they received the letter, the finance company received the letter. Then we went again and asked the ownership, requested ownership because of a quitclaim deed. And Joe went out with 2 more letters to the city, and he's doing some free lawyer work there for us. And the letters come back to guys that I do not own that problem, that quitclaim deed. It's not my property, it's next door neighbor's property. I own the one next to it. So we're clear, we feel comfortable, we're not going to be sued over it. So,
I'll make a motion to accept the lowest bid.
okay, got a motion and a second.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. Any more discussion?
Do we have any kind of timeline, or does this guy need?
We'll give him 30 days is what we're going to do.
yeah, we'll get him just get on it. I mean,
Yeah,
I'll talk to
and
him.
we'll just get on it.
Give him.
No, I mean, he's got 30 days.
Huh?
You
30
give
days,
the children
start to
permission
finish.
to make
Yeah,
it
well,
work.
Right.
I think we told them in the bid how many days he had, did we?
Yes.
I think he
it's in
said
the
30
bid.
days.
Demolition must be completed within 15 days upon
50
award of
days.
the contract.
Month and a half, or a little over.
Is this the in-house?
Yes, it is.
Is the one on the end?
Yes, it is.
Just one, two-story, three-story house? I can't remember what it was.
It's one story.
One story, we've got 2 or 3 bedrooms.
It's probably about 2
The old
bedrooms.
church thing.
Used to be a little meeting place, right? Church thing, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, we got motion second. Did you call a roll on this one? Yeah.
Robert Miller,
Yes, sir.
Jeff Bass,
Yes.
Kenny Brown,
Yes.
Terry Hall, Don Shelton,
Yes.
passed.
Okay, our last item 7, discuss and possibly set a date for budget workshop during the week of June the 8th through June the 12th. We really need to get this done in that week.
Any day is good with us, the 8th, the 9th, the 10th, the 11th, the 12th, whatever's good with everybody else.
Any day's fine with me.
You
I'd
want
like
us
to
to
do
set a
it
date?
in the beginning of the week if we could, just
So you're talking about next week?
Yes, sir.
Beginning of the week would be great. If we can do it at the beginning of the week, Monday evening or Tuesday evening, or let's see,
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then
Yeah.
we'll look around.
How many days we talking about now? 3, 4?
one day, I hope.
Maybe one.
Oh, why don't we do it on Friday the 12th?
No, Friday's not a good day.
How about this Tuesday?
Next day I'm off work. I don't have to do
What'd you
work.
say?
Tuesday, so I won't spend my day off here, no offense.
Well,
Oh, but it'll be fun though, budget.
he can't be here on Tuesday.
Oh, okay, Friday's fine if it's.
Unless we set a
Maybe later
later
May.
time, what time can you be here by? Or can you be?
By 7?
Well, 7 wouldn't be too bad, I guess, would it?
Yeah, yes, we're thinking about 6, after 6 anyway, so.
Have to be at 7 or 8.
So can you make it 7?
Yeah.
7 o'clock Tuesday? Can everybody make it 7 o'clock Tuesday?
Be the 9th?
Yes, I think that's 9.
It is. One night, though.
Yes.
I think you can, He's got it lined up pretty nice, I think you'll like it.
Yeah, but he can see my
Oh, I
lips.
got it, I'm looking at it.
There's no extra money.
We've seen your previous list, we know what your list will look like. We've got a good idea what your list looks like. Okay, we need a motion, I guess, here.
So moved.
Move for the 7 o'clock on Tuesday, and then second.
I'll second it.
Now, motion and a second. Motion by Miller, second by Bass. Any more discussion? Call the roll, please.
Robert Miller,
Yes, sir.
Jeff Bass,
Yes.
Kenny Brown,
Yes, sir.
Terry Hall,
Yes.
Don Shelton,
Yes.
passed.
Friday at 7 o'clock, huh?
No,
No,
Tuesday at
Tuesday.
7 o'clock.
You told me Friday.
The 9th, right?
Yes.
I did announce Tuesday, I think. Anyway, play the film, but no, I think it's.
Tuesday, June.
There's no more business coming before the board. We'll need to adjourn. You got a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor, stand.
Hey, Chief.
We are
And I
adjourned.
got the